The most people have felt that sting when somebody that we care about or are interested in starts to create distance, leaving you feeling confused and questioning what went wrong. Was it something I did? Well, if you've ever been in a relationship dynamic or dated somebody who has an avoidant attachment style, you know that it can sometimes be frustrating when they start to pull away just when things seem like they're going really well. So, what is an avoidant partner, you ask? Well, if you're not familiar, it is actually one of four main attachment styles. And an attachment style comes from attachment theory, which is the study of how your relationships as a child impact your adult romantic relationships. And there are four attachment styles, and this body of work on attachment theory has been studied for decades and originated out of Cambridge University. I'll put a little infographic right here if you are not familiar that shows the four major attachment styles: the hot and cold partner, the very avoidant partner, the anxious or clingy partner, and our secure, stable partner in relationship dynamics. So, is there really a way to stop the avoidant partner from pulling away? Or is it just a lost cause? Well, if you don't understand what triggers an avoidant attachment style to pull away, then you might find yourself stuck in this constant cycle of chasing them and feeling more and more insecure with every time that they pull away. But if you stick around, by the end of this video, I'm going to teach you a key strategy that helps avoidants feel safe enough to feel close, but also gives them their freedom and autonomy and independence, which will transform relationship dynamics in a way that can foster deep connection instead of allow that distance to fester. So, let me tell you a story about this. I want to tell you a story of an avoidant client that I worked with because, as many of you know who watch this channel, I have worked in the field of attachment styles and relationships for the past 10 plus years and saw many, many clients. Now, this client we are going to call Mary, and Mary was a dismissive avoidant. Now, she was a lovely woman and she never wanted to be vulnerable in relationships. So prior to coming in to do the work, she would find herself going through these patterns of jumping from relationship to relationship over and over again. Now, if we looked back into her childhood in traditional dismissive avoidant fashion, we would see that she had both parents who were kind of unavailable in her upbringing, not really there. And if she was too emotional as a kid, she would often get shamed or dismissed. So she grew up to think, okay, I have to repress my emotions and disconnect from them. And so as an adult, of course, she didn't want to feel her emotions because she was conditioned for years and years to think that her emotions were bad, they were weak, they were not okay. So when she came to see me, she actually came in because she said she was truly interested in somebody, and she was willing to acknowledge that she had this history of pushing people away that she was interested in, and then sometimes feeling a little bit regretful about it later. And she realized, the common denominator in a lot of these situations was me, because as soon as there would start to be momentum or depth in the relationship, I would shut down and panic. And I would start to look for all the flaws in a person and make excuses for all the reasons why the relationship couldn't work. But after decades of doing this, she decided it was time to really take a deeper look at this situation. And she knew this about herself and she was ready to work on it, which, believe it or not, contrary to popular belief on the internet, there are many avoidants who really show up well to do the work. So she was dating somebody for a few months who we'll call Bob. And as things started to become more serious, she came in and she said, I'm starting to feel panicked. And when I say serious, these were things like Bob wanting to define the relationship and talk about the future and talk about like maybe moving in together one day. And she kept feeling afraid. But something that was unique about Bob is that this man was quite secure. He had a secure upbringing, a secure background, and I could tell he was secure by the way he handled situations like this. So one day, he and Mary were having a conversation. And as he was saying, do we want to travel next year? Do we want to plan something fun to do together? He could see her starting to withdraw. She would often go silent and kind of clam up around conversations about the future. And this is what he basically said to her. He said, I know you, and I know that you like to take your time and move at your own pace. And I understand and respect that. And in fact, I'm interested in you enough and patient enough to go at your pace. But I also value my time and I know what I'm looking for. And what I need from you is to know that you are willing to grow in this situation. I will be patient. but I also need to see effort from your side. I need to know that you are interested in progressing this relationship, even if it's over time. And she said that when he said that to her, she felt seen, she felt considered. But she also realized because she felt seen and considered, and it wasn't a threat, it wasn't criticism, that she had the bandwidth all of a sudden to realize, yeah, like I get why he feels like that. And I have to take a look at that and my side of things in this situation as well. And then what he did next, I think, is what really confirmed with me when I was hearing this information from Mary how secure he was. He proceeded to see his needs through and hold her accountable. So, for example, if she would pull away after they spent the weekend together and it was really vulnerable and they really connected, one thing that's very common is that an avoidant, after like a really connected and vulnerable weekend together, that an avoidant has a little bit of a vulnerability hangover and they need to literally retreat for a couple days after, and the communication often becomes sparse. But in situations like that, he wouldn't put up with that. He wouldn't just let the communication become sparse. He would gently call her out every single time she retreated. And he would say things like, "Hey, I know we had a great weekend. I know you're doing your own thing. But for me, I need to know that we're going to check in. When are you free to chat later today?" And because she was being gently called out and held accountable in a healthy way, and because this would happen not from a place of anger and not from a place of Bob building up this frustration because for days at a time she wasn't communicating and he wasn't saying anything. No, he would communicate in the moment as directly as possible, but gently and with respect and with the capacity to see Mary the entire time. So, what is this one thing then that stops an avoidant from pulling away? I have exciting news to share with you today, and it is that to celebrate the Personal Development School's 5-year anniversary, we are offering 40% off of your first month to our all access pass. Plus, you can enjoy 20% off of my newest book called Learning Love, both of which are all about how to change your attachment style to become securely attached. So, whether you are looking to improve your relationships, personally grow, or just develop a lot of emotional mastery over the way that you feel, now is the perfect time to start. But hurry because this offer won't last long. So, head over to the link below to join today. It is the ability for you to express your needs while gently holding the other person's behavior accountable, right? It's you being able to say what you're needing. Does this ensure that every single avoidant attachment style will show up? No, because it doesn't read the mind of all people. But does it help progress the relationship for an avoidant who is willing to grow? Yes. And do you know what's magical about that? What's so important about that is the fact that if you are able to do that, you're advocating for yourself. You're behind yourself, and your own self esteem will improve as a result of that. And you get to vet. You get to see, is this person willing to do the work with me? And in my opinion, that's what we should all be looking for in a relationship. A relationship isn't about two perfect people getting together. A relationship is about people who are imperfect getting together, who are willing to see each other, willing to make compromises for each other, willing to communicate their needs and look out for each other and support each other in that process. And if you are vetting to see when you do communicate your needs, does that person show up? You're making sure that you're also not jumping into a relationship with somebody who may not be able to. And honestly, when we do things that way, there are far more avoidants who do show up to do the work than you would think. But if somebody's not, then you have such a clear answer. And this allows you to then decide, is this the right relationship for me to be in? So I know a lot of you are so scared to advocate for your needs, are nervous. Like, what if I do say that I need something and it pushes the person away? Well, then you have to trust that that will be for the right reasons. And a person isn't going to be perfect and meet all of your needs all of the time, but you need to see effort. You need to see consistency. You need to know that they are trying to move in that direction, even if it's in imperfect ways. So, with that being said, if you want to do a deeper dive into your communication and how to really communicate with an avoidant in a way that's likely to get them to see and hear you and respect your needs and want to show up for them, I have a course you can check out fully for free for a limited time, all about how to communicate with individuals from different attachment styles. I will put the link in the description box down below. If you want to watch more videos about attachment styles as a whole and learn a little bit more about the basics, you can check out these videos here. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed today's video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.